Alanis, how are you? Lovely to talk to you. All good?
Oh, so all good.
That's good to hear. And how excited are you then for the European run of dates? I mean, we both know the Belfast show, Belsonic, on the 30th of June will, of course, be the highlight.
Of course. Let's focus on that, shall we? Yeah, no, I can't wait. We're in planning mode. So this mode is, we do as much as we can to plan it, and then we show up and blast off, basically.
And do
it's,
your
it's a
thing.
real sort of nomadic community touring. Touring is a road dog experience that I live for. I think you're constitutionally set up to be a traveling Wilbury, or you're not. And
Yeah.
I got that DNA of living for traveling around this funny planet.
It's lovely that as well. I would imagine, I'm sure the best bit though is just that moment where you step on stage, all the other stuff is done, sound checks are done, interviews, dare I say, are done, and then
Mm.
it's you and the audience. That's the reason you do it.
Yeah, that's the rapture. And my bandmates and I have a real telepathy at this point, having worked together for so long. So it's this word. I mean, a lot of lyrics certainly, but it's this wordless exchange, and it is a dialogue with the audience, and it feels as though in some ways it's, while I'm giving myself permission for however long, an hour and a half to 2 hours, I'm giving myself permission to feel and emote and embody these feelings. And in so doing, I like to think that I'm also inviting people to feel along with me if they want to.
Oh, completely. It's that connection, isn't it? And with
It's
someone
great.
with such a rich catalogue as yours, there probably is that lovely dilemma of what to leave out, what to put in the set list.
The good news for me is that the songs that I wrote when I was 19, I mean, that could have gone either direction as a 51-year-old now. I mean, that it could have been such that I just couldn't sing these songs. It was too much of a compromise. So fortunately for the tours and set list creating, I love these songs. And so I can get behind all of them still. There's been a consistency value system wise throughout all these lyrics. So
Mm.
good news is when I'm forming a set list, I pull from songs over the last 30 years. I don't have to have it singularly centric on the last 2 years of my life. It can span all 30. Why not?
It is that thing as well where somebody may be seeing you for the very first time and then you might
Mm.
have a die-hard fan. It's that mixture though, isn't it?
Yeah, it is. And just being aware that what I sing about is the human condition, just singing about the human experience of emotions and intellect and body and senses and all of it. So I like to think that there's a lowest common denominator element to what I'm up to that just kind of cuts through the stories and just speaks to our humanity. And that's what lights me up. Healing ruptures, like the connection with God and others and self connection. That's all I continue to seek, certainly in my own life, but with people I love around me too.
And I hope you're finding as well. And speaking of
Yeah.
speaking of songs though, I'm going to throw a couple at you. These are my favorite Alanis Morissette songs, okay?
Wow.
One
Okay.
is from supposed former
Mm,
Infatuation Junkie. You mightn't be surprised for me to mention that album, but
mm.
I really love I Was Hoping.
That's so funny you said that. I was like, is it I Was Hoping?
Wow.
Yeah, yeah,
There's
I
that
love that
connection.
song so much. Yeah. And I actually get to know people based on songs that light them up. I'm like, ooh, it's the supposed record. This person can be complex. They can hold the complexity. Um, um,
You're not
but yeah,
wrong.
I was hoping it's me just taking life in and commenting on it and commenting on the patriarchy and the subtle microaggressions. And it's songwriting is so incredible in the sense that and again, I start writing the new record next week, and it's just this opportunity to really find out what's going on for me. And especially as a mom of three touring, it just feels like songwriting is this context where it's appropriate to sing about what I'm scared to write about, if that makes any sense. So it's a channeling, for lack of a probably better word.
Sure. I mean, musically, I love the kind of collision, and I was hoping. I love synths and guitars mixed. I love them sort of
Mm,
conflicting in a good way, though. And
me too. Me
I really
too.
got that from that, which leads me
Nice.
to another track, which
Hmm.
is now this is from So-Called Chaos. Um,
Mm.
8 Easy Steps. If an alien landed and said, "Tell me what Alanis Morissette sounds like," I would play them that.
Ooh, I love that.
I'm glad. I love it
Yeah,
too.
that's amazing. I love it. I love it. Yeah, and just kind of busting the chops of thinking that there's one way. People would be saying, if you could say one sentence to the entire planet, what would it be? My answer is, I wouldn't.
Yeah.
Because there's 8.1 billion people and we're all coming at life from different directions. So for me, it's just about sitting across from someone and seeing where they're at, imposing some wholeness approach, it's not even possible with how many people there are.
No, absolutely. I was so looking forward to the show. As I said, there's nothing like live music. And I was just thinking,
Mm.
are you playing much guitar yourself on this tour?
Some, I mean, I don't consider myself a guitar player. I feel like my bandmates whom I play with, they're the savants and the aficionados.
Right.
um, but I can play to write, and so I'll play a little bit just to kind of harmonically support the whole song. But that's not where I shine.
Right. Well,
That's
yeah, I've seen you play a lovely Taylor guitar before. I was wondering, do you still play
yes,
that one?
I am obsessed with instruments, even if I can't play them perfectly.
Right. It's a lovely
Yeah.
guitar. I remember seeing it in a couple of shows you did.
Oh,
And I
awesome.
think, am I right in saying there's a Fender Strat on the go as well?
Oh, yes. And
Good.
ongoing new guitars. Yeah.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, when you head out in the road, there's a lot of time to kill as well. I know you're a very learned person. You've always come across in that way. What books are we talking about for the tour? What are you going to read?
Um, I mean, I'm constantly reading about gender stuff. I'm reading about the human condition, and I've been reading since I was probably 11 years old. Anything to do with the human condition. So multiple models. I've taken clinical trainings, but this particular tour, for me, it's really about coalescing this model I've been swimming around for a long time. Some of us are bibliophiles, right? I'm obsessed with books. So
Yeah.
if you look in my bag on tour, I always have at least 6 books with me at any given time.
Cool. Just focusing as we wrap up, Alanis, on the show. This is a chance for you, obviously, to speak to your fans in Northern Ireland as
Mm.
well, who are
Mhm.
buzzing about the show.
I can't wait. Yeah, so we're pulling songs from the last 30 years. We're crafting as we go. Um, yeah, it's just an emotional, it's an emotional journey through all the emotions and all the narratives and all the stories, and we just sort of, I've created a bunch of segues between songs that touch on songs that we don't do full versions of, but it's sort of operatic, maybe not how it shows up the show itself, but the process feels very operatic. Like everything, I want to tie everything together so that it's this sort of unfolding, not necessarily chronological journey, but emotional one where we touch on all of them, and that there's so much permission for all these feelings on stage.
Brilliant. I love it. I'll be looking out for that, Taylor.
Yeah, she's around still.
And the
Yeah.
Strat.
Yes, they're around. They're happy.
Alanis,
Yeah.
lovely to talk to you. Have a great day, and I'll talk to you soon, all right?
Thanks, John. Yeah, appreciate your time.
Cool FM.